Hey there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your March 29th to April 4th, 2021 tarot reading. About to hit you up with a 3-card spread, past, present, future, with the Rider-Waite deck. And then we're going to do a couple clarifiers and the outcome card with the Universal Fantasy. But before that, we're going to do a general vibe card here with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So hopefully all is well. Remember, Sagittarius, these are general readings, so, just take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't try to make something fit that doesn't fit, all right? Don't take a huge leap in logic on something, all right? If something seems like, oh yeah, that seems right, then take that. But don't be like, well, if I really pull that out, that makes sense. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that, Sagittarius, please. But anyway, I think this deck's been shuffled enough, and I think my cat has gone berserk. But we'll get you a general vibe card here. We've got the Observer card. So the Observer card is a card of observations, right? And make observations this week, right? Try to be more of an observer rather than someone who's taking action and interfering and inputting in situations, right? Kind of lay back and kind of see how people are being, kind of see how situations are unfolding rather than taking action and trying to change it or do whatever. Just kind of let things run their course and see what happens and kind of see what happens and see kind of how and see the results of things, see how things play out, and see maybe how a certain person behaves or how certain dominoes fall, right? But let's get you your 3-card spread here with the Rider-Waite. Hopefully all is well, Sagittarius, but we shall see here. All right, that's enough shuffling, I think. All right, so in your past, we got the 8 of, I always mix the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles up when I first look at them. To me, I get confused, and I feel like the 6 on the side here kind of look like there's only 5 of them, just the way it's laid out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of sort of self-reliance, self-sufficiency, being independent, enjoying sort of your world that's just for you, right? So, enjoying your alone time, or enjoying kind of, how do I put this? It's kind of like, how they say there's sort of 3 faces in your life. There's kind of the face that you want people to think you are, the face that you are to other, the face that you think you are, the face that people think you are, and the face that you really are, right? And this is sort of enjoying the face that you really are, right? This is sort of enjoying you, right? Not necessarily the person you're hoping you are, the good, upstanding, whatever your vision of yourself is, but enjoying you yourself, right? Not getting too worked up. I have a Canadian standoff going on next to me here, but enjoying yourself and enjoying the real you. So in your past, it seems like you're kind of valuing that more, maybe, and maybe just kind of taking a back seat and seeing who you really are, right? Getting a little more in touch with that. So I like that. In your present, we got the Page of Cups. So it's a young at heart person who's just starting out their journey in their feelings and emotions. So it could be someone just getting kind of in contact. Like I said, you're just kind of getting to know yourself when it comes to your feelings and emotions. So that seems like it's you, but it could also be a person coming in. Could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So there is that. There's also a potential that this is an opportunity coming in for you, because you see the Page of Cups has this fish in the cup here, and that represents opportunity. And also represents that opportunity can slip away at any moment, right? So the fish won't stay there for long. You know how you ever seen videos where a fish, somebody caught a fish and oh, look at this, and the fish flies out of their hands into the water, right? That's what that's sort of representing. It's opportunity is there, but it's not there forever. It's not going to stay on the table for a long time. It could just go flying out at any moment. So in your future, we got the 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is a card of sort of longing for something, kind of hoping for something. This guy's kind of wondering how he can be free, like these ships on the ocean, just to go wherever you want. It can also be a card of trying to like start up something. Like it can also be looked at this guy as a merchant, and he's trying to get a business going, and those ships are his, and he's sending them out to go and collect resources and come back, and so he can grow his business. So it could be you're getting more comfortable with yourself and maybe kind of longing to be like more free, and maybe trying to seize an opportunity so that you can be free, right? That could be coming in for you. It could also just be like you're seizing an opportunity to maybe grow. Maybe you have a side business that you're trying to turn into your main business. And it's like, how can I get there, right? And being an observer, like at this time with the observer card, is like maybe looking at other people who have done that, who have turned side businesses into like main businesses, into their main hustle, right? Like kind of looking into people who have done that, seeing how success happens, right? Because success leaves clues, right? You don't want to be sitting there going like, how do I do this? It's like, well, people have done it before. Like, people say there's like trailblazers, and certainly in every sort of pathway in life, there have been trailblazers, but there's always common threads among all those people, right? Success leaves clues, right? So I like that, just trying to like, get in there, like realize like who has been successful in your situation, right? Like who's a successful, I don't know, who's a successful YouTuber, for instance, right? Like maybe not necessarily like a tarot channel or something, but like maybe somebody who's successful as like a vlogger or something, and look at their vlogs and see like, how did they become successful? And then like look at another vlogger and another and be like, what are the common threads between all these people, right? That kind of thing. Putting in the work, right? Like I was talking to Aries about this. Like you got to put in the work to get to like happiness, to get what you want. I think I was talking to Leo about this as well. Maybe this is just a fire sign thing, or maybe this is just in the collective, but it's just like you got to put in the work, right? You can't just sit here daydreaming and being like, well, I wonder how I'll do that. Oh, you got to take action. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hustle, right? Like it's not like the path to success and the path to getting to your dreams and your happily ever after isn't a straightforward one, and it isn't an easy one either, right? Like you gotta work hard to get that kind of stuff. So, but we'll get you some clarifiers here and an outcome card. I'm shuffling the hell out of this deck, but I'm gonna give it a little bit more here, Sagittarius, because I'm gonna ask you if you'd leave a like down below. I appreciate any support you want to give. You can subscribe, hit that bell icon as well, so that way you never miss a video, because I do not just videos for yourselves, but for all 12 signs. So you can check them out afterwards, all your sun, moon, and rising videos, if you haven't already, and you might get a full scope of what's potentially coming for you in the weeks ahead. So, all right, this deck has been shuffled. But let's get you here. Between the Nine of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, we've got the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is saying that you have fears, anxieties, nightmares, that kind of thing. Maybe just worries about like being your true self, right? We were talking about that, being your true self, like who you really are, or getting in touch with that person. Maybe you're scared to do that. Maybe you're scared to get in touch with who you really are because you're afraid. We're all afraid, I think, that we're uglier people than we actually are, right? Right? But I think a person who's afraid that they're a worse person than they are isn't a bad person. It's just someone who's maybe afraid that they can't overcome their flaws, or maybe can't overcome, I don't want to say, I guess flaws isn't a really good word, but afraid they can't overcome what's inside them, like the sort of like negative part of your life. But the thing is, everyone has negative parts in their life. Everyone has, things in their life that aren't exactly entirely positive. We're all a bit selfish. We're all a bit kind of the hell with everybody. No one's 100% pure good or anything like that, unfortunately, but it's the thing is like living with that stuff, making peace with your shadow side, right? And if you fight it and say like, hey, like I don't want this to be a part of me, or you neglect it, it's only going to get stronger, and like when it comes through, it's only going to be coming through harder and harder. Whereas if you just accept the fact that like, yes, sometimes I maybe don't, give enough money like to a charity or something, or maybe I walk by, like you sometimes see like in the grocery stores they have somebody like, hey, can you donate like whatever you can to this charity that needs it, or these people trying to fundraise money, and like maybe you don't always give that money away, or you usually ignore them or tell them, oh, I don't have any money, and you just kind of go away because you don't want to give that money away for whatever reason. It's like, just come to peace with that. Like, the fact is, like, yeah, sometimes you're like that, and like, but don't let that like control you. Don't let that make you think you're a bad person. Maybe you just need the money, right? Like, you just need it, right? And you got to take care of yourself before you can donate and help others out. So that's a big rant there, Sagittarius. I'm sorry about this, but it's like, that's what I'm saying with this, is like, it's a lot of fears and stuff. It's all in your head, right? Like, don't be afraid of like the fact that you are a complicated person. Like, embrace it. Like, you are a complicated person. You have flaws. You do have, maybe things that people may not say like, oh, you're 100% good person because of that, but like, just come to peace with that. Like, you don't have to be 100% a good person to be a good person, right? Right? You don't have to be perfect to be a good person. You can still be a good person and have flaws and character traits that maybe aren't that great, right? I'm sorry for the rant here, but just stuff tingling in my head today, apparently. But between the Page of Cups and the Three of Wands, we got the Nine of Cups. That's 3 nines that have showed up. That's interesting. So with 3 nines, I kind of look at that as just sort of like you're getting close to the end of the hurdle, right? Like, you're almost like you're coming up on all like the end of the stresses and the end of things, right? The 10s are like the ends, are the definitive ends, but the 9s are kind of like you're ready for the end, right? You're like, okay, I've had enough of it. Like, I'm done, right? I'm ready for the end. So that's what I'm seeing with 3 nines. But with the 9 of Cups here is a card of, fulfillment. It's a card of being satisfied. It's a card of being like, okay, well, I'm happy. I'm ready to go forward. The 9 is the only one before the 10, which is the happily ever after card. The 9 of Pentacles is the first one before the 10, which is legacy and leaving a legacy behind. The 9 of Swords before the 10 of Swords is like the end of something, like a brutal, quick ending. So it seems like you're coming to an end here. You're coming to a conclusion. You're coming to like okay, this is what it is. But it seems like you're kind of in the future maybe going to be satisfied with the fact that, yeah, I am a flawed human being, but everyone's a flawed human being, right? And just coming to terms with that, like I was saying. So that's between the Page and the Page of Cups and the Three of Wands. For an outcome card, we've got the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is a card of sort of taking the safe road, right? Like thinking inside the box, not doing anything like crazy or wild. It's a card of sometimes like focusing a little bit too hard on money, right? You see this woman has the one pentacle she's holding up higher above everything else. It's kind of being like money and financial in my physical world is more important than anything else, right? And so try not to get obsessive over things, over that kind of stuff right at this time. But it's also a card of, making sure everything's like secure and secure within reason, like just doing like safe, reasonable things to make sure you're secure. So like I say, if you were thinking about like taking an opportunity, like getting in touch with an opportunity to do like a side business into a full-time business, that's like I say, like, do the regular stuff, do what's expected, do the, success leaves clues, right? Follow up on that. How do people become successful in the field that I'm in? With the sort of getting in touch with yourself and kind of longing to kind of be free and kind of improve and kind of get to like a position where it's like, okay, I am comfortable with myself. This is like, again, do the safe thing, do what people have done before, right? Like, look at people. How do people come to terms with that? Like, look up videos online about how do you come to terms with yourself? Like, maybe you need to see a therapist or something about that, kind of overcoming stuff. I know I've gone to therapy about my confidence before, where like I felt like my confidence was like at an all-time low and I was really unhappy with myself. And so I went out and I was like, okay, well, how do I improve myself? And I went and talked to my therapist, and she was like, well, you can do this and this. And like, and we would talk about it like week to week to week, or well, not every week. I didn't see her that often, but we just kept talking about it, like, how can I improve this? And it's not an easy path. to improvement. Like, it's not an easy path to come into grips with yourself, and it's not an easy path to becoming successful either, right? You gotta put in the work. You gotta get in there and put in the hard work. Nobody can do the work for you, right? Like all this tarot stuff that I'm doing here, all these reading cards and whatnot for you Sagittarius, isn't saying that like this is just going to come automatically to you. It's like, no, you got to take the action yourself. You got to put the work in, Sagittarius, to get to self-improvement, to get to being successful, to get to wherever you're trying to get to. So, but I like that, Sagittarius. I hope that helps you out. Remember, you can check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising videos after this one, get a full scope of what's coming for you in the weeks ahead. You can like the video, you can subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. That way you never miss a video. So you can check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising ones, as I was saying before, just as soon as they come out. But I hope to see you, Sagittarius, in the next video.